George Clooney's building a sex chair before headshotting Brad Pitt. This movie's a post-Patriot Act fever dream that predicted MAGA stupidity. I'm Seth, and it's day 30 of 365, reviewing every movie I've gone to see with the stubs to prove it. Today, we're talking Burn After Reading, a movie that proves the Coen Brothers are like sex and pizza. Even when it's not their best, it's usually pretty fucking good. Post 9/11 paranoia? Check. Idiot spies? Double check. Brad Pitt playing a himbo? Triple check. This is Mr. Lebowski Goes to Washington, a hypothetical crossover I didn't know I needed that included chaos, sex machines, and a cast that's firing on all fucking cylinders. Clooney's horny jogs, Frances McDormand's quest for self-improvement, and John Malkovich's glorious rage spiral all orbit each other in a spiral of dumb decisions. Burn After Reading, directed by the Coen Brothers. I love that I went to see this in theaters. This is among some of the more niche, out-of-the-way movies that a lot of people don't take the time to see, that I'm really stoked that I was taking the time to see. What I recall from this era is that Brad Pitt is very popular, and seeing him be silly, be kind of a himbo, doing little funny dance moves in the trailers, this really brought my attention to the movie. Me and my brother, I think, went to see this together, and we're always down for a good comedy. Brad Pitt is somebody that's able to bring that along with really excellent acting, so I was kind of in. Frances McDormand was not on my radar at all, and I didn't know going into it. This is really her movie. Watching this in 2025, I'm a huge Frances McDormand fan, so it's cool that I've been seeing her in movies even if I wasn't clocking her. And something else I didn't know at the time that I'm very aware of now is the George Clooney-Brad Pitt pairing. That's something that only happens every so often in our movies, and this one takes full advantage of that by doing kind of like a meta joke by having George Clooney kill Brad Pitt in the scene they meet in. It's also really funny to me that I'm going to see this as like basically a 17-year-old and not really knowing in depth what kinds of things this movie wants to talk about. I have a much better understanding of the political culture and climate at the time, and I know the Coens claim that this was not a movie about Washington, but it's about that. Sometimes art imitates life in ways that we can't anticipate, and some of the artistry that comes out in this film is the way that it imitates Washington, D.C., our political atmosphere, governments and spy work and that kind of stuff. I talked about this one a couple years ago on a podcast with a couple of guys that all three of us really enjoyed the movie. This is one that, like I said at the top, this is a Coen movie, so it's going to be good. It's just a question of like, how does it stack up to some of their really hugely popular, hugely impactful movies? The career that they have is so over the top that it's crazy to me that there are movies that we consider maybe they're bad ones. Burn After Reading's always put at the bottom of lists. I don't even have an argument against that. I've seen a lot of their films at this point, and all of them are really excellently made movies. But I like to come to bat for movies like this one, where it is like sex or pizza. This is still a really good movie, even if it's not the best Coen Brothers that we have. And there are a lot of artists out there that couldn't make this movie at all. So it's cool to see the trappings of people that maybe aren't doing their best work, but are still doing something for their own fun and enjoyment. A lot of these characters and roles were written for the actors, so you know that these directors just wanted to show up and play and have a good time with these actors. I love seeing that kind of thing represented on screen. I have a theater background myself, and the camaraderie that comes out of directing actors, being an actor, being directed, the stuff that can come out of that artistic process is really deeply humanizing. Directing and acting is a dive into our psyche. So I hold this movie to a different bar than something we want to see go to the Oscars and win all the awards like a Fargo. The skills that they use to make Fargo good are very on display in a movie like this. This also allows them to go into the kind of crazier aspects that they don't get to explore as much. I really love the insanity boiling under the surface of George Clooney's character when it turns out that he's just very sexually frustrated. These are dumb characters not asked to explore themselves, and so we just get to see the chaotic outcomes of the way that they approach the world. One of my favorite parts of this movie on this recent watch was Brad Pitt. He is so fucking funny. He really knows how to lock down, and apparently he went into this role not sure if he could pull it off. Apparently the Coens really understood that he could, but he wasn't sure if this was for him, and so to see it play so fucking well, I just love that. Like I said at the beginning, this really is Frances McDormand's movie. She's absolutely the heart and central to this, and you can see such soft sadness coming out of this character. Everything that she wants is just to improve her happiness just a little bit. There's almost like a proletarian struggle. I just find it so interesting that she can hold this movie together with a glue and allow for characters that are as vile as George Clooney or Tilda Swinton or John Malkovich in their characters. I'm using the actors' names a lot here because they're big names. This is a stacked out cast of people that are really strewn with awards. J.K. Simmons is here to cameo at the front and back. He probably got shot out in a day, but he's still able to show up and not play J. Jonah Jameson sitting behind a desk, which is where my brain wanted to go to. His abilities as an actor give off such a different kind of demeanor here that even though he looks like J. Jonah Jameson, in my head I know he is, he's still able to separate himself. I think that's the marking of a truly deeply gifted actor, that even he knows, walking behind and sitting behind a desk, that someone is going to feel like he's J. Jonah Jameson. Somebody made that joke on set to him. I can almost guarantee it. But he still is trying to show up in a way that elevates the movie, and I really enjoy it. I'm someone that enjoys a dumb movie, and this is a movie about dumb people, so it might feel like a dumb movie. Versus what we're going to be watching tomorrow with Eagle Eye, which is a dumb movie about smart characters that doesn't need to be dumb. It is crazy the way that Burn After Reading predicts MAGA America, and just the way that that stupidity can spiral out of control when you're not willing to stop and check yourself and educate yourself. And then Eagle Eye is going to come through and really forecast the AI drone-laden future that's absolutely coming down the pipeline after 2008. I did not make the connection at the time seeing Burn After Reading and Eagle Eye so close together, how related in material they were. I think I was just trying to see spy stories. And then I see Quantum of Solace next, so this is kind of like a trilogy of spy dumbness as we descend further and further into worse and worse movies. Yeah, sorry, the next couple are not as fun to watch as Burn After Reading, but we're going to get into them and I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to keep this one short because, like I said, you can go check out a podcast with my very in-depth thoughts on this movie. You can also check out my Letterboxd score, which I just dropped into my OFAD list for the One Film a Day challenge. If you head over to my Patreon and sign up, I'll send you one of my ticket stubs from this challenge. And don't forget to give me a follow on Blue Sky and Instagram for my stories and personal posts. Like I said, our next one's Eagle Eye, so I will see you tomorrow.